I begged him to tell me how to make it stop. He shook his head. It doesn't stop, but you can pass it on. What do you mean? I asked, desperate. He leaned in, his cracked lips forming a chilling smile. You just have to show it to someone else. Let them see it.
You are listening to the Fearcast. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
I was 16, the summer we moved to Marrow Creek. My mother called it a fresh start after my dad passed, but I knew it was just her way of running from everything that reminded her of him. She rented a lakeside cabin for us, far from the city, far from everyone I knew. It was quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet where you start to hear things you're not supposed to. There was only one other teenager in town. Her name was Riley. She was sharp, curious, and just as miserable to be stuck here as I was. We became inseparable within days, mostly out of mutual boredom. There wasn't much to do except wander the pine woods, ride our bikes on cracked roads, and hang around the lake that everyone else seemed to avoid. The lake had a strange reputation. People said it was cursed, that it took things. I thought it was just a small town ghost story, until Riley told me she'd seen something floating near the dock, a wooden door, perfectly upright, standing on the lake's surface like it was resting on solid ground. Over the next few days, we kept coming back. Sometimes the door was closer to shore. Sometimes it was further away. Once, it vanished completely, only to reappear the following morning. Riley, braver than me, dragged out an old kayak to get closer. Maybe it's some weird art installation, she said, paddling toward it while I stayed on shore, my heart racing. She reached the door, touched it, and vanished. The kayak sat there, empty. I screamed her name until my throat burned, but she was gone. I ran to town, begged for help, but no one seemed surprised. They avoided looking at me, mumbled about things that shouldn't be touched, and dismissed me. The next morning, the door was gone. Riley's family moved out within the week. I couldn't stop thinking about her. I dug into the lake's history and found records dating back a century. Stories of the door and disappearances, always tied to Marrow Creek. Survivors wrote about the door returning for them. And suddenly I knew it was coming for me. At first, I thought I was imagining things, shadows shifting in my room, soft knocking on my window, even when it was locked, puddles of lake water appearing in my house. One night, I heard steady knocking coming from my closet. When I finally opened it, there was nothing but wet footprints leading out and down the hall. I told my mom everything. She thought I was having a breakdown and booked me a therapy appointment in the city. I never made it. The door came back, standing in our front yard, slick with lake water. I froze, watching it from my window. Each night the knocking returned, On the walls, the floor, the windows. My mom couldn't hear it, but I did. And when I listened closely, I heard Riley's voice whispering from the other side, begging me to open the door. One night, I heard my mom's voice outside my room, but I knew she had left for work. The voice kept calling me to open the door. I barricaded myself inside, but the knocking grew louder, never stopping. When I opened my eyes in the morning, the door on the lawn was gone, but my bedroom door was cracked open. Wet footprints trailed inside. I begged my mom to leave Marrow Creek, and we left in a panic. For a while, life seemed normal. The knocking stopped. I started to believe I was safe. Until I found it again. In a park, miles from Marrow Creek, standing quietly among the trees. The door had followed me, and now, every night, the knocking starts again. I hear Riley's voice calling from the other side. Mia, it's safe now. Please, let me in. Tried moving again, city to city, state to state. But no matter where I went, the door found me. I'd wake up and it would be outside my window, in an alley near my school, or once, horrifyingly, in the middle of my living room. Always the same door, slick with lake water, standing perfectly upright, waiting. And always at night, the knocking would return, steady, patient, impossible to ignore. I stopped telling people. They wouldn't believe me. They'd look at me the way they did when I talked about Riley, like I was making it all up. But the door was real. It was always real. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. My world shrank to a desperate cycle of waiting for the door to appear and trying to outrun it. And then, one night, something changed. I started seeing others, strangers in bus stations, people sitting alone in cafes, their eyes sunken, their hands trembling. I could tell they saw it too. We'd make brief eye contact, an unspoken understanding passing between us. I wasn't alone. The door had many victims. One of them, a man named Gabriel, approached me outside a train station. His voice was hollow, like someone already halfway gone. He told me he'd been running for decades, and the door never stopped following him. "It's not just a door," he whispered. "It's a promise. If you see it, it marks you. It will follow you, always, until you open it. And when you do, you become part of it." I begged him to tell me how to make it stop. He shook his head. "It doesn't stop, but you can pass it on." "What do you mean?" I asked, desperate. He leaned in, his cracked lips forming a chilling smile. "You just have to show it to someone else. Let them see it. Let them hear the knocking. Then it will start following them instead of you." My stomach turned. Was that what Riley had done to me? Did she see it first? Did she bring me to the lake on purpose? My memories twisted, replaying that day, her insistence that I come see the door, her strange calmness as she paddled toward it. Had she already made her choice? Gabriel placed his hand on my shoulder. "You'll understand soon." And then he walked away, disappearing into the crowd, as if he had simply dissolved into the air. That night, the door was waiting in the hallway of my apartment. The knocking was louder, more urgent. When I pressed my ear to the wood, I didn't just hear Riley anymore. I heard dozens of voices, pleading, crying. Some whispered my name. Some are begging me to set them free. I'm trapped now. I know the door won't leave. I see it every day, closer and closer. Sometimes I wonder if I should pass it on, show it to someone else. Maybe I could finally be free. But then I remember the look in Riley's eyes when she vanished. I remember the weight of those wet footprints in my room. And I remember what it felt like when I first heard the knocking. I think it's too late for me, and I think the door knows that I'll open it soon. Sometimes I dream of what's on the other side, and sometimes I think it's already inside.